So yeah, I might genuinely be a bot because I just recorded this video, but I realized my mic was muted the whole time. But let's get into it. So again, from the previous video yesterday, I had this marked out, this manipulation leg, standard deviation, and then I wanted longs into the discount of this leg here. So we did end up catching those late in PM session yesterday. And yeah, that was pretty clean. And then going into Asia Open, I also talked about in the previous video how I wanted a potential short move away from this premium. And we were able to catch that to pass a set of accounts that I was trading on during Asia yesterday. And essentially the low time frame idea behind that was zoom right here. Daily open right here. We ran up and then we immediately erased that move right after. Clear manipulation. I entered right here, I'm pretty sure, with my stop. I think it was about 30 points. It was a mechanical stop. And then my TP was about 150 points with 5 micros just to get that 1.5k day. And then, yeah, that was pretty easy. And then going, you could have marked this out as your manipulation leg. Then we had -4 here, which we did end up tapping into after and just fully dumping through that, which was pretty nice. But the main target I was aiming for was 150 points. So yeah, again, yesterday in PM session, I was able to catch these longs at about 140. Stop loss below that 3-minute gap, which I think is somewhere right there. And TP at 110 points, if you guys remember from yesterday's video. And then in Asia, I was able to catch this. So overnight was actually pretty clean. You could see that we formed this 15-minute manipulation leg into that premium. And we tapped into the -2, lost a lot of selling pressure, and then reversed. And then on the way up, we created this leg here, right there. Come back into the discount of that, tap into this 15-minute gap, and then continue higher. And 10 out of 10 textbook price action, in my opinion. And we do it shortly after as well. We make this leg up here, tap into the 0.5, and then move up rapidly. But going into a late AM session to the start of PM session, I really wanted shorts, and I'll explain to you guys why right now. So you could see that my original trade idea was based off of a reaction away from this gap in premium. And also inside of that fair value gap, we could see this 2-minute manipulation swing here gives us the -4 stacked inside of that gap, which was, in my opinion, pretty high probability. I will say though, the swing itself was pretty low probability due to the fact that it didn't take out any significant liquidity. It was kind of just a pattern manipulation swing, and I realized those are pretty low probability. So yeah, my first trade idea was like this, stop right above the gap, about 40-point stop, and then my target was down till this previous high right here, find support there, and then potentially continue going higher again. However, I did get stopped out on that, which is fine. I ran about 30 points and then ran straight to my stop. But I was still really confident in the trade idea because we were also trading inside of this hourly rejection block. We were trading close to the 0.5 of this one, which happens to be about the OTE of this 4-hour wick right here. Yep. So those two confluences stacked up together. I was trying another trade idea off of those, and the the next trade that I took was off of this strong move down. I shorted about here. Again, run straight to my stop. Same target, and the reason why I was fine taking this was because it still offered really good RR, so I was barely risking anything to make a decent amount. And same here as well, 3.5 R. I think I was risking about 180, 150, something like that, to make about 600 per account. And this one I was risking about 150 again to make about 900 per account. So I was fine taking these trades because of the risk to reward that it offered. And then after tapping into the OTE of that 4-hour wick right here, I tried to take it again at the very, very top. So my entry was about here, I'm pretty sure. My stop loss was at the high of basically all-time highs. And my TP was in the same exact spot. So it was a really safe stop loss with a great target, which offered 4 risk to reward, which I'm happy taking. And unfortunately, we ran 50 points into profit just to get just for Alpha Futures to close the position manually at 420, which was about a couple points in profit, which was basically break even. So overnight we smacked pretty well to pass those accounts, and during PM session and late AM session, we took a couple small losses and got caught in chop for a while, which is pretty annoying, but at the end of the day, you're not always going to get the opportunity you're waiting for. But yeah, it was pretty clean price action overall. And I will definitely say that something I did learn from today was to use more probable manipulation legs, not just some random pattern manipulation swing. Like, for example, a good one would have been probably this one, considering it was the very low of the move before going higher. And you could see that we respect the -2, get that retracement, and then run to the -4 right here. And yeah, what else? And the executions, let's pull those up as well. Executions, platform login. So overnight, see, these were the longs that I took yesterday off of this discount, and then we hit TP on that, and these are the shorts that I ended up taking at around 115. So let's see, 115, 30-point stop, and then TP'd at 963.25, which is right there. So yeah, this was a really clean trade in my opinion. This one was also a pretty clean trade. And yeah, here 271, around a 40-point stop above that gap. Got stopped out at 316. And then again, I tried the shorts right here at 292. Stop at the high, and then we did end up getting stopped out on that one as well. And then tried the shorts at 328. Stop at the high of this range right here, so right about here, 50-point stop for about and we did close that trade for about 5 points, let's say, so basically break even. But yeah, not a terrible day. Could have definitely performed better. I will say though, one thing I did realize is that we could be using this big move down as one manipulation leg to push much higher, which would make sense considering we're in basically fresh territory. And I noticed that pretty late during the day, which is something I should have caught on to earlier and maybe scalped a continuation. But yeah, we'll see what happens going into the remainder of the week. And another thing I will say is the bigger the manipulation leg, the bigger the move it's going to offer. So if you're able to notice one of these things pretty early on, if you're able to notice something like this in here, in that leg there, where we retrace the discount and then sort of going up, here, let me grab the fib, where we go into discount, reject away from it, and then continue going up again, you could have caught a long entry maybe somewhere in this area here, stop at the low here, and then basically held your trade all day for about almost 400 points, which is pretty nuts. So yeah, the bigger the manipulation swing, the bigger the move. And yeah, that's one of the only things I will say that's pretty important to know in terms of using standard deviation. And yeah, thank you guys for watching.